Right, so today we're going to put together the rear axle of the drag racer car. You're going to need a few parts for that. First, you're going to need the chassis that you put together, which we glued these parts in last time. You're then also going to need your pulley, which you've glued together before previously. Your 2 rear wheels, single wheels like that. Your rear axle and 4 M3 nuts like that. You're also going to need some spanners to tighten it up, and you may wish to use a pair of pliers depending on how you get on. Step 1, what we want to do is get the axle aligned in the center. We want this about the middle of that, maybe a little bit over one way, because on one side you'll have the pulley as well. So we want to sort of line that up like such and get ourselves one of the M3 nuts and tighten it on here. Oh, let's see what I'm doing. And what we want to do is get that sort of a little bit over there like that. And we want to line the edge of this up with that little bump sticking out there, like that. Perfect. Oh, maybe a little bit more. Right, then you want to get our rear pulley. That's going to slot in there like such. And our rear wheel on that side on there like that. Then we're going to get one more of our M3 nuts, and we're going to slot that on the other side like such. And we're going to tighten this up by hand as best we can. Nice and tight. And now we've got to tighten that up, but we can come back to that later and tighten them up when we've got it nice and level. The next thing we want is this wheel is going to come on here, but the first thing we need to get is a nut on that side. Now this is going to need to have a little bit of play. If it's too tight, it won't turn. It'll jam on there. So you want to get it so that there's a bit of a gap on the edge over there. It doesn't have to be too big, about that big, maybe a bit more. Can always adjust it later, so we end up with a bit of a gap, so you can see the edge of that is a bit further away from there. Then this will slot on top of that, and you can see there's a bit of play there, it's not touching. And then finally on this side we can nip this up like such, like that, and then we can get in there and nip that up. Now the next thing to note is this is not 100% in the center. You can play around with it if you want, but that's absolutely fine. So now you want to tighten these. You're going to get your 2 spanners. We're going to start on this end. You simply go put one on there and then the other one on this side like that, and we just turn them in opposite directions until they're tightened up. Don't over tighten them because you'll strip it, but just go gently like that. So I'm trying to work through a camera. That's that on there. That one's nice and tight, and now we can do the same on this side. Just maybe nice to nip it up again, make sure it's as tight as you can. Again, same idea. Open and spanner on that side over there, that side over there, and just nip them up. Don't need to over tighten them, they just need to nip onto the wheel, and they're absolutely fine. Like that. Now you may, if you're struggling to get into it, you could also use the pair of pliers and take this end of the pair of pliers and pop them on there, and you could also tighten it up like that if you feel more comfortable with that. It's totally up to you. And then once you've got there, check how it all fits, make sure it still spins neatly, that all spins freely, and that is ready to go for the next step.